Would you like to have a simple automated way to fill your calendar with high ticket sales calls where you don't have to cold message people, you don't have to constantly post on social media, and you don't have to make new ad creatives every couple of weeks? I've tried all that stuff and it did work in some cases, but it's a huge amount of work that never ends and eventually burns you out. But now, after having built 3 businesses past 6 figures, I run a simple funnel that runs in the background and fills my calendar on autopilot without me having to do anything. So I can mess around with this YouTube stuff and all the other shiny objects I want for fun. And if it works, then great, but I'm not dependent on it. I know that either way, my funnel is working in the background, bringing me high ticket clients without me having to lift a finger. In this video, I'm going to walk you step by step through my exact funnel setup, including some of the all-important nuances that you've probably never seen anywhere else. So what you see here is my funnel, like the layout of how my funnel works. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the high level of every step, and then I'm going to show you every step in detail. Like I'm going to go through the actual funnel and let you see it step by step. So the way that it works is we start with YouTube ads. Now, why YouTube ads? Well, a lot of reasons. First of all, I love running paid ads. Paid ads are amazing because you get complete control. You get to choose how many people see them, how much you're spending on them, and it's very consistent. It's not like if you're let's say you're doing cold outreach, or if you do cold outreach, then that can be consistent too, but you got to do the extra work. Every time you send 100 messages, that's 100 messages that you got to send. Whereas with ads, you just turn it on and it runs in the background. And when I say it's consistent, I mean compared to, like, for example, social media or posting YouTube videos. Well, that you can get a lot of leads from that. You can get a lot of sales from that, but you don't really have much control. It's really just up to the platform how many people it wants to show your video to, or how many people it wants to show your post to. Whereas with ads, if let's say I'm getting $10 a lead, well, if I spend $1,000, then I know I'm going to get more or less 100 leads. And if I spend $2,000, I'll get more or less 200 leads, right? So it's very predictable, and I have complete control just by setting the budget up or down. Now, why YouTube ads specifically is because what I'm going to show you here is a VSL funnel, which is short for video sales letter. So basically the funnel hinges on somebody watching a video that's going to sell them on booking a call with you. Now, who do you think is more likely to watch a video? Somebody who's watching videos already on YouTube, who's in the mood to watch videos, who's in a place where they're not distracted, where it's quiet, where they can actually listen to a video, or somebody who's on a platform like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, and they're like mindlessly scrolling while they're waiting in line at the grocery store. Obviously, the person who is on YouTube is going to be much more likely to watch the VSL because they're in a better situation. YouTube also has better targeting options than just about any other platform, than just about any other ad platform, because of it's part of the Google ecosystem. YouTube is owned by Google, and Google knows a lot about people, right? It knows what videos you're watching on YouTube. It knows what you are searching for in Google search. It knows where you're driving if you're using the Google GPS, right? It knows what you're reading in your Gmail account. It knows what websites you're visiting in your Chrome browser, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It knows a lot about people. And so it's really, really good at putting your ad in front of exactly the type of person that's most likely to take action and to opt in and to book a call and eventually to buy from you. So what we do is we send ads to an opt-in page where we offer some sort of free lead magnet. This is something that's going to build their trust in you. It's something you give them for free that warms them up to you, essentially. Because if you're selling something high ticket and people don't know who you are, you come up in an ad and say, "Hey, my name is John Smith. You want to buy my $10,000 product?" It probably ain't going to work very well for you because you haven't built that level of trust. So the whole point of this process is from the point of the ad where you get their attention in the first place, but the rest of the process is all about building trust to get them to the point where they're actually willing to spend a significant amount of money with you. So you send them to an opt-in page that has a free lead magnet. Generally, that's going to be something that is somewhat educational. So it's demonstrating your expertise in some way. Now, this isn't always the case. Sometimes you'll, especially if you're doing B2B, then you might want to get people into just an explainer of what your product is. Maybe you don't have to do this step. This really depends on the type of business to some extent. So either way, though, you're probably going to want to have them opt in for something. You get them to opt in, which means that you get them to give you their name and email address and potentially phone number, depending on how you set that up. And then once they opt in, then they will go to a VSL page. That's your video sales letter. So this is just a page that has your video. They watch the video and then they click to, there's a button below the video where they can apply and book a call with you. Now, the video itself could be the lead magnet. It could be, here's this free training on how to do XYZ. And that's what you're offering on the opt-in page. And then they opt in and then they see this video, and the video itself is the free training. And at the end of the video, at the end of the free training, that's where you say, hey, if you would like further help with this, then click below to apply and book a call with me. Right. So by the way, after they opt in, you're also going to put them in an email nurture sequence. So these are automatic emails that go out that send them back to either the VSL page or the application. So if they haven't already watched the VSL and it would be helpful for them to watch the VSL, you send them back to the VSL. Or if you just want them to book a call, then you send them to the application. I usually do a combination of both. Like the first couple of emails, I'll send them to the VSL page. And then the rest from there on out, I'll send to the application page. Now, once they click on the button to apply and book a call with you, that's when they go to an application page. Some people will do the calendar first and then the application. I like to do the application first and then the calendar. The reason is that in my application, I like to qualify people. I ask multiple choice questions that determine whether or not they're qualified to work with me. So if you, by any chance, don't like wasting your time on calls with people that are not qualified to buy from you, or even if you do like wasting your time, but you don't want the ad algorithm to start optimizing for people that are a bad fit, then you got to do this. Because what you do is you have what's called branch paths logic, which what that means is based on the answers to the questions you give, they give, based on, I used to be able to talk, now I just think about it. Based on their answers to your questions, you can send them to different places. So for example, if you ask the question, hey, do you have a source of income, or are you living under a bridge and begging for money? If they answer the latter, if they are living under a bridge and begging for money, they probably aren't going to buy anything from you, right? They're probably not a very qualified person. And I'm kind of joking about that question, but kind of not. Like you can frame the question in a way that makes more sense for you. So depending on their answer to the application questions, you can send them to your calendar or you can not send them to your calendar. So you can have a separate page or a separate message that comes up for the people who are not qualified. Now, this does not necessarily have to be a money question, like how do you have a source of income or how much money do you make? That is relevant to pretty much everybody who's selling high ticket, but there's other questions too. Like if you have a business to business service, for example, maybe you only work with certain types of businesses. So you have a multiple choice question that says, are you the owner of this type of business rather than this type of business? And depending on what they say, if they're the wrong type of business, then you disqualify them. Now, what this does is it saves your time for one thing, because the disqualified people don't ever get to see your calendar, don't ever get to book a call with you. But perhaps more importantly is the signal that it sends to the ad algorithm. If they are not qualified, then it does not send a signal back to the ad algorithm. It does not send them a conversion event. This is the same with Facebook ads or X ads or whatever other ad platform, by the way. It's not just YouTube ads. So you want to filter, you want to send people to different places, whether they're qualified or non-qualified, and you only put your tracking code or your pixel code on the page that is qualified. That way, the ad algorithm will learn that, hey, this is a good prospect. I'm going to show the ad to more people like this. Okay, so once they fill out the application, if they are qualified, then they'll go to a calendar. This is just a basic Calendly calendar. There's a bunch of different software that can do this. Like, just use one of those. It's really easy. They can select a time, and the calendar actually integrates with your Google Calendar or your Apple Calendar, so it makes it really, really simple to manage. And then when they book a call, it just shows up. Like, it just shows up on your Google Calendar. Like, everything is done automatically. And then after they book the call, then they get sent to a confirmation page, which says, hey, we booked the call, and then gives them any instructions or any warm up material that you want to give them before they actually get on the call. And then you'll also have email reminders and SMS reminders that make sure that they remind them when it's time for the call, because you'd be surprised by how many people just like forget or have a hard time using a calendar on their own. They don't know how to come to a meeting that they set themselves. And part of that is like, how excited are they for the meeting? Like, the more excited they are for the meeting, the more interested they are, the less likely they are to forget. But some people are just absent-minded and will forget anyway. So regardless, I like to send these email and SMS reminders. So that's the high level of the funnel. So let me walk you through an example, which is actually my funnel. One of my funnels that I'm running right now is working very, very well. It works on autopilot. It works in the background without me having to do anything. It literally just runs and puts calls on my team's calendar. Which, by the way, if you would like me to put this same system into your business, that's what I do. I'll put a link in the description where you can apply and book a call with me, and we'll see, me or a member of my team, I should say, and we'll see if it's a good fit and take it from there. But let me go ahead and show you what this looks like. So, okay, so the ad, I'm not going to show you the ad here. I have other videos where I show you through the ads. But once they click on the ad, they'll go to this opt-in page, which I'm going to show you right here. Now, if you look at this opt-in page, what do you notice? It's very, very sophisticated. There's a lot of like complicated code in here. Not really. It's actually extremely simple. And I have consistently found that with YouTube ads, the simple landing pages like this work the best. Like, the more information you put on here, it actually shoots you in the foot. It's actually not helpful. So I just put generally like who it's for, a headline, maybe a sub headline, and a form. And that's pretty much it. Like a little disclaimer under the form. So this one, for this particular funnel, I'm really trying to narrow it down to the type of business owners that I want. That's important to me because YouTube ads are actually a really good option for a lot of different business owners. But for this particular funnel, I want to narrow it down to high ticket coaches, consultants, and agencies. And so I mentioned it multiple times here. I mentioned it up here, and I also mentioned specifically designed for coaches, consultants, and agencies down here, because I'm really trying to say, look, if you're not one of these groups, then please do not opt in. That's basically what I'm doing here. So you want to qualify who it's for if you didn't do that sufficiently in the ad already. Now, of course, how you set the ad, what text you use, what copy you use, what headline you use, etc., is going to depend a lot on what you said in the ad. It has to be congruent with the thing that you said in the ad. So I'm not going to go too deep into how to actually do the copy here. And then the form, you're going to want to have first name, email, well, name or first name, email address, and potentially phone number. Phone number is kind of optional depending on what you're going to do with this. Now, if I go back to this, when we get an opt-in, there's a certain percentage of people who opt in who are actually going to apply. So generally, kind of standard benchmark, that's about 10%. So 10% of leads will actually apply. If you want to increase that number, One thing that you can do is you can reach out to the people who opt in and do not apply. The best way to reach out to those people is with a phone number. You can call them or you can text message them. So, but that's not required. That's just going to boost your performance. So it depends on, do you or does your team have the capacity to do that? Do you have the time to go and call a bunch of phone numbers of people that have opted in? If so, then it helps to add this phone number field. If not, you don't have to. In my experience, adding this doesn't really affect opt-in rate very much. It affects it a little bit. And some people, like if they really don't want you to call them, they'll just give you a fake phone number here. But in my experience, the majority of phone numbers that you get are real. So let me actually go ahead and just fill this out. And I'm going to go ahead and submit, and I will show you the rest of the funnel here. So here we got basically notice, by the way, that my lead magnet that I was offering was a free PDF on how to run YouTube ads. So I could have said that the VSL was the lead magnet. I could have said it's a free video training instead of a free PDF. So because I did a PDF, I kind of have to do an extra step. And there's an automated email that sends to the person that has a link to the PDF attached. So here I'm just kind of confirming that, hey, you got the thing that you signed up for. And then I have just a thing saying, hey, watch this video. And then you are a coach. So in this video, I'm going to pitch them on my product, essentially, or pitch them on working with me and tell them to go ahead and click below to book a call to apply and book a call with me. Now, what you want to include here depends on how you've framed it in the last page. If your VSL is itself a lead magnet, mine is not, right? The lead magnet is the PDF in my case. So my VSL is a pure pitch. If you have promised a free training and the VSL is the free training, well, then you kind of got to deliver the free training before you go and pitch. Some people don't do this. I find that obnoxious. Like if you're promising somebody that you're going to give them a free training, you should give them the free training. Otherwise, you're trying to start like a business relationship with somebody by lying to them and not delivering on the very first promise that you make. What are you expecting? That's not going to end well for you. I see people do this all the time, and it drives me nuts. I think it's ridiculous. Anyway, so you have your VSL, and then you have your button to apply and book a call with you. So I'm going to click on that button, and you'll see what my application looks like. So there's basically two different questions that I'm asking on this application, or two different types of questions. The first type is questions that help me or help whoever's talking to them. If you have like an external closer that's going to talk to them, it's helping them understand what the business or what their situation is, what their goals are, and basically kind of be able to develop a little bit of a game plan and have some ideas for them before you ever get on the call. So you're prepared, you know what the conversation's going to look like before you get on the call. So that's this question. Describe your business in a few words. So I'm just going to write test in all of these. How long have you had this business? Now, this is a qualification question. So if it's somebody that doesn't even have a business, it's just an idea, I'm going to disqualify them. Anything else, they're going to be qualified. What is your business website or landing page? So this is, again, so I can do a little bit of research, or my closer can do a little bit of research in advance. What is your goal for the business in the next 12 months? What is your business's total revenue last month? This, I think I did have this as a qualifying question, but it's not anymore. So I could have that if it's like they're making less than 10 grand a month, then I disqualify them. I think this one is not a disqualifier. And then what are you currently doing to get calls booked? And this is important because I want to know, like, what are they currently doing so that I can position my offer as an improvement over what they're already doing. Because if what they're already doing was working, or if it's working sufficiently well, they probably wouldn't be booking the call with me in the first place, right? So I want to know what are they doing? Why is it not working? And so we can figure out, like, is my solution going to work better and why? Give them a good explanation for that. What's the biggest challenge you face in growing your business? And how much revenue do you make from an average client? Okay, so this is a qualifying question. I only work with high ticket business owners, right? People that have a high ticket offer. So somebody has an offer that costs under $500. It's not going to work for my system, so I'm going to disqualify them. And then how much are you currently spending per month on marketing? This one's not a qualifier. How much are you currently able to spend per month in ad spend, assuming you get a positive ROI? This is another qualifier. If somebody has an ad budget of less than $500, then my system isn't going to be very much good for them. And so I'm going to disqualify them. And let me show you. I'll actually disqualify myself and show you what that looks like. And then it's going to ask for my information again, which is just so that it can match the application to the lead that's already registered in the system. I use Kartra for this, by the way. If you want, go to chrisshute.com/Kartra. And this is like the best funnel builder software, in my opinion, that doesn't really get very much credit. Like, it doesn't get very much attention. But if you go to chrisshute.com/Kartra, that's my affiliate link, go over to the pricing section and like kind of scroll up and down, act like you're interested, and then hover over the little X in the corner, and it'll give you a 30-day free trial. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and submit my application, and it is going to give me this message saying, thank you for your application. I will take a look over it and get back to you soon if it looks like a fit. Guess what does not come up? A calendar, right? This is the disqualified end screen. This is the end screen for the person who is not qualified to work with me. So let me go through the application again, and I'm going to show you what it looks like for someone who is qualified. So I'm just going to give it all the right answers here. I'll just breeze through it real quick. And submit. And look at that. I gave it the right answer. So now it has put me on one of my closers' calendar. And I'm going to go ahead and book an appointment with him. Oops. So this is just a Calendly calendar. If you sign up for a Calendly account, I think you can even sign up for free. I have the paid version since I have a team, but you can sign up for that for free and it'll give you that calendar that's all automated. It's really nice. Oh, and the Calendly calendar will send a calendar invite to anybody that has a Google Calendar automatically, which is pretty nice. That's why I use Calendly actually, because Kartra has a built-in calendar, but it doesn't have that feature. So that's why I use the outside Calendly one, even though it's kind of an extra step and it's a bit of a pain since there's a built-in one, but it just works better because of that feature. If it puts the appointment on their calendar automatically, the show rate is better. Okay. So once they have booked a call, I'm just going to confirm, hey, you've booked. And then I have a video. There's a lot that you could put on this page actually, and I have not used this to the level that I could. But what I like to do is have a video that goes over the offer. And if you want to see something a little bit meta, this document right here is the same as the document I was showing you right here at the beginning. This is my document that goes over the details of my offer. It's basically just a video that goes through that document and explains it so that when they actually get on the call, then they then they already know what to expect essentially. So they're already kind of pre-sold. I'm taking as much of the burden off of the closer as possible. So there's a video, and then this is good. You just have a thing that says like tells them how to accept the calendar invite. And then if you have content, like I create these videos so that I can have content, which is showing people essentially that I know what I'm talking about and making them more likely to trust me. And if you have some of that, then you can put that here. So I put a couple of YouTube videos, including this one with a super cheesy thumbnail that I should probably change. But you can also put other stuff here. So like one of these days, I'm going to add some testimonials to the bottom here. You can have kind of a Q&A thing where like you have commonly asked questions or common objections, etc. Essentially what you're trying to do is pre-sell the person. You're making them as likely as possible to buy when they are on the call. And so you can put anything here that would make that more likely. Now, what you can also do that's helpful is put them in a separate email sequence once they've booked a call with you. And you can send them a bunch of emails because once they've booked the call, they're pretty darn hot. Like they're really interested. So you can put an email sequence that is directly like doing all the same things as you did on here. It can share content, it can share testimonials, it can share case studies, it can address common questions and common objections. Basically, you're just trying to make it as easy as possible for them to buy by the time that they're on the call with the closer. Because making a high ticket purchase is something that is I would it's a bit of a decision, it's not something that people take lightly. So you the more like due diligence that you can help them do so that they don't have to go and do it themselves, the easier the sale is going to be and the shorter your sales cycle is going to be. And then of course, on this page, we have a pixel event or a ads tracking event that's sending back to the ad algorithm and saying, hey, this was a really good prospect. Please show my ads to more people like this. And as you bring more and more people through this funnel, the ads get better and better because it learns the pattern of what type of people get to the end of the funnel, because you've got things qualifying them along the way, because you're qualifying them in your text, in the ad, in your copy, in the ad, in your copy on the landing page, and then you're qualifying them with the application as well. You're sending the unqualified leads to a page that does not have the tracking on it, and you're sending the qualified leads to people, or qualified calls to people to a page that does have the tracking. Then the ad algorithm is going to notice the patterns and what type of people you like and what type of people you don't like. And it's going to find you more of the type of people you like. Now, again, if you would like me to set up this entire system for you, that's what I do, or even potentially coach you on how to set it up for yourself. If you'd prefer to be a little more hands-on with it, I can help you in either way. Either way, I'll put a link in the description below where you can apply and book a call with me or a member of my team. And now you know how to bypass my filters, by the way, in the application. But I mean, if you don't have a high ticket product or you don't have any money to spend on marketing, then it's not going to work for you. So there's not really any point lying about that. But if you're interested, then go ahead and click below. And if you would like to see, because I didn't really get into the ads very much in this video, but if you want to learn how to write these YouTube ads in a way that just get killer results and drive a ton of traffic into your page so that you get leads and you get booked calls and you get sales for a minimal amount of ad spend, then check out this other video where I'm going to show you exactly how to create ads on YouTube that work really, really well for this type of funnel.